Hey guys, it's Adam with Unleashed Wargaming. I wanted to talk about something today. I've got a few videos coming up actually. This one is on just to talk about the fluff versus competitive play and rules as written. I did one before just briefly, and a lot of people took what I was saying wrong and were actually offended by it, and that's shocking. But I got another one coming up. I'm reading the Kane book right now. Some big changes. Not a lot of people were right about it, about the combined armies, but they did it in a cool way. It's very different. But yeah, I'll have a review on that, both the story and the rules soon, and as well as cards. I'm going to be making cards for all the new spells as well. Yeah, as far as the rules go, as far as the competitive play versus rules as written, and fluff versus rules as written, I hear a lot of people saying, you know what, I don't care about fluff. I play the game. I play to win. I'm a competitive player. And, that's fine. It usually, not always, it usually comes with a lot of bravado, like I'm all big and bad. I don't care about story. I just play to win, all that stuff. Not always. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there who just, play it for fun. Usually, the people that I see who say that the most aren't what I consider to be very good players. I see a lot of them say that, and they lose something like 80% of their games. But these people who say I don't care about fluff, I care about rules only, and rules is written, and all that. People argue with this, I'm sure, but the rules follow the fluff. It's not the other way around. Rules follow fluff. Why do high elves strike first, always strike first? Because they're fast. They're elves. That's part of their fluff. That's what elves do. They fight good. They're fast. They're quick and nimble. So yeah, they always strike first. That's why they get that rule. Why do dwarves get all their stuff? Because the fluff says they're extra tough and they're extra durable. So, even now, you pick up these rules and everybody's freaking out. Oh, you're going to combine the elves. That would never happen. Well, I'm about 30 pages into the fluff right now, and yeah, it could happen. They did it very well. They tied it in real good. If you've read any of the novels about the high elves, you'll know that they're not all just wonderful in love with each other, that there's politics and crazy stuff going on. And that was before the end times. So all these people who don't read the fluff and are freaking out and mad because Games Workshop is stupid and they're combining armies when that would never happen, you're just wrong. Read the fluff and you'll see that the rules follow the fluff. All this end time stuff coming about is all following fluff. It's all following the story, and all these rules coming out are following the story. Games Workshop didn't just change rules and leave it at that and say, up yours. But the fluff, you don't have to incorporate it in your battle reports or in your personal gaming or whatever. But it is important, if you're going to talk to others about it and talk about the rules changes, that you understand at least what's going on in the story. And it seems to me like fluff players, people who play fluff instead of competitive, have much more fun with the game. I see, so many battle reports, and I've even unsubscribed from several because they're always just complaining about what happened, complaining about their enemy's rules, and complaining about the composition of their opponent's armies, and it's because they're so competitive and they're so caught up in rules and I have to win everything, I can't lose, that they don't even have fun. Even the really popular ones who win a lot, they don't seem to have fun when they win. They seem like they're doing a job. And like I said, that's not everybody. I know somebody's going to write in here and say, oh, I'm a tournament player and I love every game I play. Well, that's great, but you're not everybody. So everybody I see, like Materum, I do it. I play for fun, and I consider myself a good player. I'm not saying I could go beat everybody in a tournament or anything like that, but I have fun, and I probably win 80 to 85% of my games, and it's fun. I carry a fluffy list and everything, but people who play fluff, I hardly ever see a game where they're not loving it. They're not having a great time playing the game and just enjoying themselves. And that's the reason I left the tournament scene a long time ago. Is you start losing when there's something on the line, you're not having fun anymore. You're just trudging through playing games to get it done. Second, the rules as written. This is the downside, in my opinion. The downside to playing rules as written is this isn't a game where you can play rules as written without there being gimmicks, catches, and rules abuses. The reason is there are tons of rules. I mean, tons of rules. You got a 500 plus page rule book. Then you have, 16 playable armies with everyone having their own rule book, their own magic items. You've got, this is crazy. Scenarios and special scenarios, all the things in the book that you roll up, terrain, doing things. And you got all this stuff combined into a game that was meant to be fun. And the more rules you put in, the more chances there are they're going to contradict each other or overlook each other. And so when you play strictly rules as written, you're going to come across loopholes, and you're going to come across, really hard judgment calls, and sitting there looking through rule books, arguing and competitive and all this stuff. And the only way to fix this is to dumb it down, to simplify the game. It's just like if we say, hey, let's play ball, and we're going to sit in the floor, spread our legs, and roll the ball to each other. That's a pretty easy game to follow. When you say, okay, now you have to roll the ball with one hand, you just added a rule, and so you're, sort of making it a little more difficult. Well, then you have to bounce it once, and eventually you have all these rules, and you're like, oh, you never said this, and the rule doesn't say I can't do this. And it gets complicated. Look at 40K. 40K, I played it. It was actually the first thing I played 20 years ago. And they got rid of a lot of things like guns jamming. Some of them still do, but not nearly as much. They got rid of armor penetration and things like that. They got rid of modifiers to hit. They've dumbed 40K down so badly from what it used to be. And people say it's more fun. I don't play it anymore. But when I bought the new rule book and I'm reading it and stuff, and they've dumbed it down so much and made it so simple that you don't have nearly as many rules discrepancies. But you can't customize anything. You can a little bit, but you don't have like Warhammer where you get to choose and build your army and build your generals and choose all these items to give them. And, you get just a little bit of that. And, it's just it's not nearly as personal, not nearly as customizable as fantasy. And I'm afraid if these people, and there's another side to this, but I'm afraid these people who are so rules as written, if the complaints get to GW nonstop, hey, how come you can do this? Why can't you do this? It should be like this. They're going to start dumbing down fantasy, taking away rules, taking away to hit modifiers, and, they've already started removing things like skirmishing. A lot of stuff that used to skirmish doesn't anymore. They rank up now. And like dryads and beastmen and all this stuff like that, they start removing this stuff. And it's just going to make the game more simple, easier, dumbing it down. If people keep taking war machines and putting it sideways up on the 12-inch mark and then turn one, pivoting it so that you're 1 inch closer and you can fire a Hellblaster on turn one. If people keep complaining and Games Workshop cares, they're going to put every war machine on a square base. And you won't have that ability anymore. They're going to dumb it down and simplify it. Every war machine will be on the same size base. If you do this stuff with chariots and anything that moves, randomly, like a steam tank or a hell pit, they're going to do away with random movement because people are abusing it and getting right beside them and, escorting them off the field. You're going to see them get rid of random movement. Everything's going to have a set movement. Like 40K, everything moves, 6 inches? All you're doing, this is in my opinion, and only if Games Workshop cares what you think, which I really don't think they do, you're going to simplify the game, take away from the customizable part of it. You're going to make them remove rules and dumb the game down so that they can get a better hold and better grasp on everything, and there won't be any complaints and rules discrepancies. I think if people would play in the spirit of the game and not look for these loopholes, like move dwarves into a 12-inch long building, move them in on one side, and next turn move them out the other side 6 inches. I mean, you just move dwarves, 24 inches? 6 inches in, the 12-inch length of the building, and then 6 inches out. Moved them 24 inches in 2 turns. Yeah, it's a rule, but I don't know how that building sped up dwarves so far. But there's just several things like that, little things that people do that are going to take away from the game. And we play it here, and we just have an understanding. We do not have a book of house rules written up. We respect each other enough that when we play, we don't do that mess. We're not going to turn things sideways and pivot them and, get them an inch closer across the field. We don't even take special characters. And that was something that we just got kind of trained, because it used to be you had to have your opponent's permission. Well, now special characters, they're getting to be where they can turn the tide of the game by themselves, and you don't have to have permission, and you can take 50%. It's just getting out of hand, but we don't even do that. We don't take them. We build our own characters. We build our own armies. And, whatever. Special characters are there, and that's fine. But we just try and we build our armies. We use tactics, strategy, not rules, gimmicks, and rules abuses, whatever you want to call it. And we play these games. We'll redirect some, things like that. But, all this stuff, all you're doing is you're going to take away from the game if Games Workshop cares. And they're going to simplify it and take these rules away from us. But, like I said, just my opinions. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there who are going to disagree with me, probably call me names and all that stuff. But I saw it happen with 40K. I'm seeing it happen a little bit with fantasy already. But, hopefully, give this some thought before you reply. Don't just jump in the comment sections and rail at me before you even finish the video. But I think it's going to happen. I think if the complaints keep going, I've heard some of the people on YouTube saying, I think one of them has 5,000 subscribers, the other one has like 6, and they're saying, why didn't Games Workshop ever contact us? Why didn't they ever call us and ask us our opinion and get our opinion on what we should do? And, we're leaders in this community, and how come we haven't been contacted and asked what we think? Well, I tell you, the answer is they don't care what you think. They've got a game that they've been running for, 25 to 30 years, and they're making millions. And I'm not saying, like, they shouldn't care and you're not important. I'm saying Games Workshop doesn't care what your opinion is. And as far as the amount of subscribers go, if they're going to go for that, then they're going to be calling somebody like Blue Table Painting that has 45,000 subscribers, or Mini Wargaming that has 150,000 subscribers. But, Matt from Mini Wargaming was a marketing expert before he was in the wargaming stuff, so I don't think that should dictate whether he gets to make rules for Games Workshop or not. But, Games Workshop calls it, and they're going to make all their own rules and all their own stuff, so, I mean, I know this isn't going to change anything. It's just my opinion, and I want to hear what you think about it. But I think it's going to hurt the game eventually, and that's just my opinions on it. But comment below, let me know what you think. Keep it respectful, please. I wasn't ugly to you, and I know on YouTube it's not a very mature forum, but a lot of people like to get on here and just rail and rant and call names, and that's really unnecessary. But appreciate it, and I have 2 more videos coming up soon.